Your colleague seems perfect. Everyone loves them. They get promoted while you get overlooked. They're charming, successful, always saying the right thing. But something feels wrong. You can't explain it, but your gut screams danger every time they smile at you. You tell yourself you're being paranoid. After all, they've never done anything obviously harmful, right? Wrong. You've just met your first type of predator. Your neighbour explodes over small things. One day they're friendly, the next they're screaming at their kids in the yard. Everyone says they're going through a tough time. You feel sorry for them. You even help them out sometimes. But lately you've noticed they enjoy the chaos they create. They feed off the fear in others' eyes. Congratulations, you've just met your second type of predator. Here's what's terrifying. Most people think these are just difficult personalities, stressed people having bad days, but they're not. These are two completely different species of human predator, and your inability to tell them apart is putting you in mortal danger. The first type will destroy your life with surgical precision while convincing you they're helping you. The second type will explode your world in a moment of rage and then act shocked by the devastation. One hunts with a scalpel, the other hunts with a sledgehammer. Both will leave you psychologically or physically destroyed if you don't know what you're looking at. The truth is, there are predators everywhere. They're not hiding in dark alleys or announcing themselves with obvious warning signs. They're in your office, your neighbourhood, your family. They might be your boss, your doctor, your neighbour, even your romantic partner. And they come in two distinct varieties that require completely different survival strategies. Most people think all dangerous personalities are the same. They use words like psychopath, sociopath, and narcissist interchangeably, as if they're just different names for the same thing, but they're dead wrong. And that ignorance could cost you everything: your career, your family, your sanity, maybe even your life. You see, there are cold, calculating predators who plan your destruction with the precision of a brain surgeon. They study you for months, learning your weaknesses, your fears, your dreams. They use this information to systematically dismantle your life while making you thank them for it. They're the serial killers who are never caught, the CEOs who destroy companies while enriching themselves, the doctors who hurt patients for sport. And there are explosive, chaotic predators who destroy everything in their path like a hurricane. They don't plan your destruction. They erupt in moments of rage, leaving trauma and devastation in their wake. They're the domestic abusers who snap, the road rage killers, the workplace shooters who seemed normal until they didn't. The calculating predator will spend years earning your trust before they strike. They'll isolate you from your support system so gradually you won't notice until you're completely dependent on them. They'll gaslight you into questioning your own sanity while they systematically steal your confidence, your resources, your very identity. The explosive predator will seem fine one moment and be choking you the next. They'll cycle between violence and apologies, terror and tenderness, until you're so psychologically broken you can't tell the difference between love and abuse. But here's the part that will keep you awake at night. You probably can't tell which type you're dealing with. You don't know whether you're facing someone who's been plotting your downfall for months, or someone who might kill you in the next 5 minutes. You don't know whether you need to escape quietly or run for your life immediately. The calculating predator will make you question your own sanity while they methodically steal your confidence, your resources, your relationships, your very sense of self. The explosive predator will leave you traumatized and afraid, never knowing when the next eruption will come or what will trigger it. But here's what's truly terrifying. You probably can't tell which type you're dealing with until it's too late. You don't know whether you're facing someone who's been plotting your downfall for months or someone who might snap and hurt you in the next 5 minutes. You don't know whether you need to escape quietly or run for your life. This isn't academic psychology. This is survival information. Because understanding the difference between these two types of predators isn't just interesting. It's the difference between recognizing danger before it destroys you and walking blindly into psychological or physical devastation. Are you ready to see what you've been trained not to see? Because once you understand what you're really looking at, you'll never feel safe in the same naive way again. But you'll be truly protected for the first time in your life. The first type of predator is the one you'll never see coming. They don't look dangerous. They look successful. They look like the person everyone wants to be around. Everyone trusts, everyone admires. They're your high-achieving colleague, your charismatic boss, your accomplished neighbour. They seem to have it all together while everyone else is struggling. These are the born predators. Their brains are wired differently from birth. parts of normal brains that create empathy, guilt, and genuine human connection, either don't work properly or don't exist at all. They can watch scenes of violence and suffering with the same emotional response you'd have watching a cooking show. They feel nothing when others are in pain. They experience no guilt when they cause harm. But here's what makes them so dangerous. They're brilliant at faking human emotions. They've spent their entire lives studying normal people like lab specimens, learning exactly what expressions to make, what words to say, what behaviours to display to convince you they're just like you. They're method actors who never break character. You can spot them by their perfection. They never seem to have bad days. They never say the wrong thing in social situations. They never appear genuinely confused or uncertain about anything. Everything they do seems calculated, polished, rehearsed. Normal people make social mistakes, have awkward moments, show genuine vulnerability. These predators don't, because every interaction is a performance. Watch how they talk about other people when those people aren't around. They describe humans the way you might describe tools, useful or broken, worth keeping or worth discarding. They collect information about everyone they meet, not because they care, but because information is power, and they're always gathering ammunition for future manipulation. They're drawn to positions of authority and influence because these roles give them access to victims and protection from consequences. They become CEOs, surgeons, lawyers, politicians, police officers. They're not there to serve others, they're there to feed on others while society protects and rewards them for it. Their relationships are business transactions. They don't have friends, they have assets. They don't love anyone, they own people. Every connection serves a specific purpose: money, status, information, entertainment, or ego gratification. When you stop being useful, you'll be discarded with the same cold efficiency that they initially used to charm you. When they commit crimes, they do it with the precision of a military operation. They plan for months or years. They have backup plans for their backup plans. They leave no evidence, no witnesses, no trail leading back to them. They're not driven by passion or impulse. They're motivated by pure cost-benefit analysis. What makes them most dangerous is their patience. They can wait years to get revenge. They can spend decades working toward a goal. They can maintain their mask of respectability for their entire lives. They're playing a game that normal people don't even know exists, with rules that normal people can't comprehend. But there's another type of predator that operates in the complete opposite way, and confusing the two could get you killed. The second type of predator is chaos in human form, where the first type is ice-cold calculation, this type is explosive unpredictability. Where the first type hides behind masks of success and respectability, this type's dysfunction is often visible to anyone paying attention, but that visibility makes them dangerous in a completely different way. These predators are made, not born. They're the product of severe trauma, abuse, neglect, or brain injury. Their capacity for normal emotional regulation was destroyed or never properly developed. They're not born monsters, they're manufactured monsters, created by a world that failed to protect them when they were vulnerable. Unlike the born predators who feel nothing, these predators feel everything too intensely. Their emotions are like broken glass, sharp, unpredictable, dangerous to anyone who gets too close. They can go from charming to violent in seconds. They can love you desperately one moment and hate you completely the next. You can spot them by their instability. Their moods shift without warning. They have explosive tempers that seem to come from nowhere. They make impulsive decisions that destroy their own lives and everyone around them. They can't hold jobs, can't maintain long-term relationships, can't stick to plans or commitments because their emotional chaos makes consistency impossible. They live on the margins of society. They're the career criminals who keep getting caught, the addicts who can't stay clean, the partners who cycle through relationships leaving trauma in their wake. They're not master manipulators like the first type. They're too emotional, too reactive, too unpredictable to maintain complex schemes. Their crimes are crimes of passion or opportunity. They don't plan elaborate schemes. They explode in moments of rage or desperation. They might commit robbery to feed an addiction, assault someone who disrespected them, or destroy property in a fit of fury. They often seem genuinely shocked by their own behaviour afterward. The key difference is that the first type chooses evil while the second type is driven to it. The first type enjoys causing suffering. It gives them a sense of power and superiority. The second type often hates what they do but can't control their impulses when triggered. But don't mistake their emotional capacity for harmlessness. These predators are responsible for most random violence, most domestic abuse, most crimes that seem to come out of nowhere. They're the ones who snap and hurt people they claim to love. They're the ones whose victims say, "I never saw it coming," even though the warning signs were everywhere. Here's where it gets truly dangerous. Most people can't tell these two types apart, and they use the wrong survival strategies for the wrong predator. The tactics that might save you from one type could get you killed by the other. If you're dealing with the calculating predator, you need to understand that everything they say is a lie, everything they do serves their agenda, and every kindness they show has an ulterior motive. You can't appeal to their conscience because they don't have one. You can't make them understand how they're hurting you because they don't care. Your only option is to escape completely and never give them another opportunity to harm you. But you have to be strategic about it. These predators don't like losing control of their victims, and they can be incredibly vindictive when crossed. If you're going to escape, do it quietly, carefully, with as little drama as possible. Don't confront them. Don't try to expose them. Don't seek revenge. Just disappear from their life and stay disappeared. If you're dealing with the explosive predator, your survival strategy is completely different. These predators are reactive and impulsive, which means you need to avoid triggering their rage at all costs. Don't argue with them, don't challenge them, don't try to reason with them when they're emotional. Give them space, back away slowly, and wait for the storm to pass. But also understand that explosive predators can be genuinely dangerous in ways that calculating predators usually aren't. A calculating predator might destroy your reputation or career, but they're unlikely to physically harm you unless there's significant benefit to them. An explosive predator might kill you in a moment of rage and then genuinely wonder why they did it. The tragedy of explosive predators is that they're often victims who became victimizers. Many were abused children who never received help, who never learned healthy ways to process emotion or relate to others. Some can be helped with intensive therapy and medication. Some can learn to manage their impulses and live relatively normal lives. Calculating predators, on the other hand, cannot and will not change. They don't want help because they don't see themselves as having a problem. They like who they are. They enjoy the power they have over others. Therapy just teaches them new manipulation techniques. But here's what you really need to understand. Both types are far more common than you think. Studies suggest that calculating predators make up about 1 to 2% of the population, while explosive predators make up another 2 to 3%. That means in any group of 100 people, 3 to 5 of them are predators of one type or another. They're not rare monsters hiding in the shadows. They're everywhere. In your workplace, your community, your family. The calculating predator might be the successful CEO everyone admires, while the explosive predator might be the troubled family member everyone makes excuses for. And here's the most chilling part. They often work together. The calculating predator provides the planning and manipulation skills. The explosive predator provides the willingness to use violence and intimidation. Together, they can destroy lives, families, entire communities. But more often, you'll encounter them separately, and knowing which one you're dealing with could mean the difference between psychological survival and complete destruction, between escaping safely and becoming another victim. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. The calculating predators are particularly dangerous because they often achieve positions of power and influence. They become doctors, lawyers, CEOs, politicians, judges. They rise to the top not despite their lack of empathy, but because of it. They're willing to do things that moral people won't do. They'll sacrifice anyone for their own advancement without hesitation. These predators are overrepresented in high-stakes professions because they thrive under pressure that would break normal people. They don't feel the stress, guilt, or emotional burden that comes with making life and death decisions about others. They can fire hundreds of employees, foreclose on families' homes, or send innocent people to prison without losing a moment's sleep. They're also drawn to helping professions where they have access to vulnerable people. They become therapists, teachers, doctors, social workers, not to help, but to hunt. They use their professional authority to manipulate and control their victims while society trusts and protects them. Watch how they handle criticism or opposition. Calculating predators don't get emotional when challenged. They get strategic. They'll systematically destroy anyone who threatens them. but they'll do it so carefully that their fingerprints are never on the weapon. They'll ruin your reputation, sabotage your career, turn your friends against you, all while maintaining plausible deniability. The explosive predators, meanwhile, usually can't achieve the same level of conventional success because their emotional instability sabotages their efforts. But they find their own forms of power and influence. They become gang leaders, cult leaders, abusive partners who control through fear and violence. They create kingdoms of chaos where they rule through intimidation. Their victims often defend them, make excuses for them, even protect them from consequences because they've been terrorized into submission. He's not usually like this, they say. He's had a hard life. He doesn't mean it when he's angry. But explosive predators do mean it. Their violence isn't accidental or uncontrolled. It's their primary tool for getting what they want. They've learned that exploding in rage gets them immediate compliance, even if it damages their long-term relationships. Both types of predators are attracted to vulnerable people. They can sense desperation, loneliness, low self-esteem, past trauma. They know how to exploit these vulnerabilities to gain control. If you've been hurt before, if you're isolated, if you're struggling, you're exactly the type of person they look for. But they also target strong, successful people, because strong people have more to take. The calculating predator wants your reputation, your resources, your connections. The explosive predator wants to break your strength, to prove they can destroy even someone who seems unbreakable. The key to protecting yourself is understanding that these predators exist, that they're common, and that they operate by completely different rules than normal humans. You can't treat them like normal people having bad days or going through rough patches. You can't love them into being better, fix them, save them, or change them. You can only protect yourself from them, and the first step in protection is recognition. So let me ask you, have you encountered these predators in your life? Can you think back to relationships or interactions that now make sense through this lens? The boss who seemed so supportive but gradually undermined your confidence? The partner whose mood swings kept you constantly on edge? The family member who everyone said was just going through a hard time, but who left destruction wherever they went? The calculating predator who slowly isolated you from your support system while convincing you it was for your own good? The explosive predator who terrorized you with their rage, then apologized so convincingly that you believed it would never happen again? These people didn't hurt you because you were weak or naive. They hurt you because that's what they do. It's not personal. You were just available when they were hunting. But now you know what you're looking at. You know the difference between the ice-cold calculating predator and the explosive chaotic predator. You know their methods, their motivations, their weaknesses. You know how to spot them before they spot you as potential prey. And that knowledge is power. The power to protect yourself, to protect the people you care about, to never again walk blindly into a predator's trap. The world contains both genuinely good people, who sometimes make mistakes, and genuine predators who intentionally cause harm. Don't let the existence of predators make you cynical about humanity, but don't let your faith in humanity make you naive about the dangers among us. They exist, they're common, they're dangerous, and they're counting on your goodness, your compassion, your desire to see the best in others to make you an easy target. Don't be an easy target. Be someone who sees clearly, who trusts their instincts, who protects their own safety and sanity above all else. Because in a world that contains both calculating and explosive predators, being kind isn't enough. Being smart isn't enough. Being strong isn't enough. You have to be aware. You have to be vigilant. You have to be willing to see ugly truths about people who might appear beautiful on the surface. Most importantly, you have to be willing to protect yourself even when it means walking away from someone you care about, even when it means being called paranoid or heartless, even when it means facing uncertainty rather than staying in a situation that's slowly destroying you. Your safety, your sanity, your life, they're worth protecting. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. If this information has opened your eyes to dangers you hadn't recognized before, write in the comments, "I see the difference now." Let me know that you're committed to protecting yourself from predators, regardless of which type they are. And remember, recognizing these predators is just the beginning. The next video will show you exactly how to extract yourself safely from relationships with both types of dangerous people. Because knowing what they are isn't enough. You need to know how to get away from them without becoming their next casualty. The truth might be uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that will keep you safe. See you there.